A shooting in Washington, D.C. that left 2 National Guard reservists critically injured has shocked the nation. Within hours, President Donald Trump labeled the incident an act of evil and terror and used it to push for an even tougher immigration crackdown. Suspect identified as Afghan national authorities have detained a man whom Trump described as an Afghan national. He claimed that the suspect entered the U.S. as part of the refugee influx that followed the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan in 2021, a decision he said has now endangered national security. This incident underscores the greatest national security threat our country faces: uncontrolled immigration, Trump said. Trump targets Somali immigrants as well. Despite having no connection to the DC attack, Trump also took aim at Somali immigrants in Minnesota, accusing them of ripping off our country. He portrayed Somalia as a failed state and insisted that people arriving from such places need far stricter vetting. Planned to re-examine Afghan arrivals, Trump announced that all Afghan nationals who came to the U.S. in recent years would be rescreened. Analysts warned this could create fear among thousands of law-abiding refugees who assisted U.S. troops and diplomats during the war. Debate intensifies over National Guard deployment. The 2 injured guardsmen were part of Trump's controversial deployment of troops across Washington. The National Guard's presence in the Capitol has been a point of political and legal debate since day one. Critics argue that deploying military personnel for civilian law enforcement duties is risky and undermines trust in local police. Just last week, a federal judge ruled the Guard's deployment illegal, though the order was delayed for 21 days to allow the administration to appeal. 500 additional troops ordered to D.C. Following the shooting, Trump instructed Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to send an additional 500 National Guard members to the Capitol. The administration also filed an emergency court order seeking permission to keep the Guard in Washington. Investigators search for motive. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser called the attack a targeted shooting. Federal investigators are looking into whether the attack was politically motivated or whether the guardsmen were simply targets of opportunity. The Department of Homeland Security identified the suspect as Ramanullah Lakanwal, who reportedly immigrated to the U.S. from Afghanistan in 2021. Calls for restraint amid political tension. Lawmakers from both parties expressed concern and offered prayers for the wounded guardsmen. Some Democrats, however, questioned the necessity of deploying troops to a civilian environment, insisting that the administration must ensure their safety if they are to remain on the streets. Republican Representative Don Bacon urged all sides to show restraint, saying, "In this escalated political climate, we must treat each other with decency. Violence cannot become part of political discourse." New concerns over troop safety. Security experts say that despite their military training, National Guard members are not prepared for day-to-day law enforcement duties. Former D.C. Police Chief Charles Ramsey warned that putting guardsmen in this role places them in a dangerous position. The attack is expected to renew debate over whether the mission itself is appropriate or safe for the troops involved. Holiday season overshadowed by tragedy. The shooting, which took place on the eve of Thanksgiving, has cast a pall across the country. National Guard members patrolling the city are shaken, while the 2 wounded reservists remain in critical condition.